Hello, it's Monday night, and I was almost exactly on time, but then had a glitch with OBS. So that was unexpected. So now I just need to load tonight's project, which might take a few minutes. Or it will load instantly. When I tried just now, it took about 10 minutes to load. It's weird. Maybe it's loaded to the glitch. But there we go. At least it's working now. So what I'm going to be doing tonight is taking this nearly complete scene from chapter 19. There's still refinements needed for the animation. Michael, hello, welcome. I'm glad you were able to make it here as well. Floopy, hello, welcome. So yeah, this is a nearly complete scene for chapter 19 in the Great Hall, which you guys saw me decorating a few weeks ago. Floopy, that's not a problem. I'm glad you're here now. Hoppy, also good to see you. Well, Michael, I'm glad you and your daughters are enjoying the scene so far, and hope you enjoy this one when it's finished. This is nearly done. I don't think I can get it done this week, but it should be done for next week. Because this particular scene is very long, so there's going to be a long render time. So I don't think I can get it done in time for this Thursday, because I haven't even done the sound editing yet, and there's still a lot of refinement needs to be done on the character animation. There's twitches, and I haven't done the lip sync or the. I've done the basic lip sync, but I haven't refined it yet, and I haven't done any facial animation, and so yeah, there's still a bit more work to do, but I've got everything needed to finish chapter 19, so that's very exciting. Renee, welcome. What do you think would happen if Luke turned good and joined him? I guess there would be two Lukes at the Jedi Academy teaching. Michael, yeah, I like to make sure that it's actually finished rather than rushed. Because if I rushed it, I guess you guys wouldn't enjoy it so much. So, and it's important to me to get it right. I like to be proud of my work, and if I just threw it together and chucked it out there without taking the time to make it as good as it could be, then I know that I wouldn't be happy with it. So yeah, here we are. As you can see at the moment, the lighting in this room is terrible. There's a gap in the ceiling. So this is outside the room. Obviously you've got the light coming to the hole, and it creates that bright spot there. But that's no good for actually lighting up the room. So I think one of the things I need to add, which I won't do tonight, is some lights in here on the walls. I think that would be a good idea. Because I can actually add lights. Let's see. I'm going to get started, so I know I'll already wait 10 minutes, but I'm excited to bring this scene to, get the lighting and everything right. And I can't remember who it was a few weeks ago when we built the set said what was I going to do for the doorway. And well, that's the answer. I've got a still rendered from outside, which goes here to light things up. Michael, that's good parenting. I see there's some discussion going on about Ben, Jason and Jaina. But yeah, I'm going to get started. So, light. I've created basically a sphere light, which is going to go here in the centre of the room. Just to light it up a bit so I can actually see what I'm doing. And it's still quite dim, so let's make it brighter. That's better. Oh look, we've got some characters. Strid Gamer, welcome. Now, I've still got a lot to learn about Omniverse, so I'm getting there. But yeah, more to do. But this lighting right now lets me see the basics. And I did mention before, when I built the set, that there's going to be a big tree in the middle of the room. So I'm going to start with that, because it's going to cast shadows, which is obviously going to have an impact on how the lighting works. So this is the latest version of Omniverse, and I just realised they've moved things around. So let me find hold on a second. There used to be a tab here that had a load of trees and vegetation in, which I know they got. Oh, here we go. Almost looking right at it. Whoops. Maybe this tree. No, obviously this needs to be bigger than this, but I'm just trying to, because the book describes it, the tree reaches out up through the roof. Now I can't see because I've moved the camera into an object. So yeah, let's move that to about there, and then make it bigger. That is quite big, but it's we need a few branches inside as well. Am I never going to show that Thrawn has generally his face mask? That's actually a detail I'd forgotten about. But now I'm thinking, now that you've reminded me, yeah, next time we see Thrawn's arts chamber, I may have to add that in somewhere. It's going to be a while before we go back to that set, but there's no reason why I couldn't do it, other than we're not seeing any scenes out at the moment. Now I'm actually going to turn off the default lighting, because the lights imported from iClone don't tend to look as good as the ones that I set up natively within Omniverse. So we're going to set a distant light. The delta source trees don't actually appear until the next book. There's actually very little time spent on Coruscant in this book. So yeah, they don't show up yet. I don't think it even gets mentioned. Because we know that Thrawn refers to delta source, but he doesn't say what it is. And Pelion spent some time sort of trying to figure it out. They're going to look like trees with glowing patterns on. I haven't decided what kind of trees I'll use or anything like that yet. If you go and watch my fan film Star Wars Imperials, there's a scene that takes place in the Grand Corridor of the Imperial Palace, and I just put the trees in there. It's just a background detail that if you don't know that they're there, you won't realise what they are. But for those who know, and they do have this sort of colour changing effect on them. Yeah, you will. I'm happy to encourage you to rewatch. Well, I'm always happy to encourage people to rewatch my older projects. I don't know what kind of trees I'll use for it this time. I can't remember what I think I used. Yeah, I can't remember what I did last time for the appearance, other than I remember putting them in and I remember making them glow. But as for specifics of what kind of trees they were, I can't remember. Oh, I like how those Vornskers are looking. But I shouldn't get too distracted because I've still got just get an idea of how things look. I can't really play through the sequence because there's no sound in Omniverse, at least not from iClone. So the lips move, but there's no actual dialogue, and a scene like this has got a lot happening in it, so it's not going to play particularly smoothly. If you look closely, you'll see that anytime I change the frame, it's very pixelated, and it takes a moment to fully render. So it doesn't do that for every single frame, so it's not that good. I haven't watched Predators for a long time. They are a dog-like creature that I found in the iClone content store. I didn't want to use an actual dog because obviously that looks silly, but this is sort of the best looking dog-like but not real creature that I could find, and I thought, well, they'll do because they look very aggressive, which is what they should do. I think I've seen Predators twice. I enjoyed it more the first time, then watched it again years later and wondered why. I also remembered bits of it that didn't happen, so I guess there was that too. Okay. That's too bright. That's too dark. Lighting's tricky to get right. You know, if you didn't like it, why did you watch it 4 times? I kind of feel like if you don't like it, maybe don't watch it again. The one in Colorado. So the one at AVP2, what I remember most about that is the Predator having more personality than than all of the human characters combined. I actually wanted the Predator to win just because he was the best character. I like the way he's introduced, where he's just kind of sitting back in his chair and the alarm goes off and he sees there's a problem on Earth, and he just kind of gets up and feels like someone's caused a problem. He didn't really want to do it, but someone's got to, so he gets in his ship and decides just to come and sort it out. Don't distract you just looking at this random shots. I know I should be working on it. I've been working on this all day, trying to get it ready for... See, my initial plan had been to get all of the details sorted out, so the animation would be refined, facial animation would be completed properly, and all of that extra stuff. All the background, I want to have extra characters walking around in the background, because this is meant to be the Great Hall, which is kind of treated as a dining area as well. Unfortunately, I ran out of time before the stream to get all of that done. So that's something I can work on during the week, which unfortunately you won't get to see until the video's finished and released. But I did get the important parts done, which was the 3 main characters of the scene, animated and talking. Even if they're not as... the animation is not quite as good as it should be just yet. Also, I forgot to give Mara her blaster, so she's just standing there with her hand out. So that's looking good so far. Now I'm going to add some more details. Actually no, first I'm going to save. Also the Vorskers aren't animated yet. They just kind of sit there. Alright, so when I was building this room before, a few weeks ago, someone suggested potted plants as one of the things I could put around the room, which was an excellent idea. So over there. Is a pot, and we're going to put some plants in it. Something suitably alien looking, I think. A crane lily might work. Hopper, yes you did, and I haven't added them in yet. I think it does need a few lights because otherwise it's going to be quite dim. So much more content now on this new the new Omniverse version has a lot more content than previously, which is good because it's drawing in from other sources. Some of it's not free, and obviously I'm not going to be splashing out. Oh look, you've even got a potted plant. I didn't even need to put a plant in. A pot in, but never mind. Let's see. My stomach's growling there. I have eaten. See how that looks from a distance. Flippy, I really enjoyed making that chapter 14 and having your input on the lights and in the room. It made the whole experience with that chapter very unique and in a good way. JT Crusader, welcome. For those who don't know, JT Crusader is doing a fan audiobook of Heir to the Empire, and I haven't caught up with all of it yet, but it is very good, and I believe he's just released chapter 19. I don't know if you've gone past that yet. I haven't been keeping a close eye on social media, but it's worth checking out his channel to have a listen. Hoppy, I haven't added the depth of field yet because I only just finished the camera work about 10 minutes before the stream, so I need to go back and do the depth of field, so at the moment there's no focus. JT Crusader, I'm hoping to have it released for Thursday next week. So not too much longer. Obviously you get an idea of how some of this is going to look just from watching tonight's stream. The other scene of the chapter I've finished, and I'm really pleased with how that has come out. So I can't wait to share it, but I'm not going to just yet. I feel like that plant over there doesn't look right. It needs to be something more exotic looking. Yeah, that's what we need. Please do share your social media links in the chat. Oh, I thought you said. I thought you were typing. Okay, I completely misread what you were talking about. Well, if now I feel silly. So it depends on what is here in the content store and what's free. Oh, but yeah, look, I feel like it needed the leaves to look more alien. And now that I've got that, I can duplicate it. I'm going to put one on the other side of the room. Excuse me. I guess it does. For we don't want to get too close to it. Right, let's see how that looks. It looks good there in the background. And where Mara talks, you should be able to see it in her background. There we go. I'm happy with that. Let's see, what else do we need? Go back to the beginning. Mara does look great. Let's have a good look at Mara. I'm really pleased with how the Mara model turned out. There's a thing with Heir when you import it. I make one adjustment to. I end up doing this with pretty much every hair style that gets imported. It's just to make it look a little darker, more realistic. Aki Gamer, hello and welcome. It's something to do with the way the transfer process between iClone and Omniverse makes Heir brighter than it should be. I wasn't actually going to do that tonight, but I think just to show you what it's just changing one setting, but doing it makes the hair look a little bit more natural. So they've got looks. So one of the things I need to fix is things like this, where his skin is clipping through his jacket. Accidentally found a really good camera angle. But one of the new features, at least I think it's a new feature, I didn't see it before, is you can capture a screenshot. So I've just taken that screenshot and I can refer back to it later. Because I do the camera work in iClone, not here. Because I haven't quite figured out how to do all the things like that in Omniverse just yet. And see, cards is a really good example of what I was talking about with the hair being brighter. Because here he looks almost grey. So if I change that setting and that one and that one. So he's still got some grey, but it's more from the light. There's a really bright light above his head. But it makes his hair darker, because I don't mind him having a few grey streaks, but I don't think he should be completely grey. He's not that old. Right, the other thing I want to do is the outside view needs to be brighter. To reflect that it's not that well lit inside. There we go. I'm going to save. I do like to add this bloom effect, obviously not quite that intensely, that's the default settings. But I feel like a little bit adds a little something to the scene. So let's have a look. Back to the main camera. JT Crusader, yeah, I realised that too late to change the first scene in. So there's two scenes in this chapter. One where he wakes up. I've already animated and finished that scene, and I realised I'd given him this outfit. And I tried to swap the model around just so I could render it again, but something broke the facial animation. When I did that, I could not animate his face with the flight suit model. So we're just gonna have to go with the idea that they probably put him into something more comfortable. Actually, what might be interesting is I mean, I guess I could always redo all the facial animation. But the other thing I could do is which one is it? No, not that one. That one. Just have him the suit, black suit that he was wearing underneath the flight suit. Obviously his skin's clipping through the shirt, which is something that needs to be fixed. But, yeah, JT Crusader, the fact that you've just pointed out to me does tell me that that is an issue. So what I ended up doing in the first part of the chapter is he wakes up on the bed, and then next to the bed his flight suit's been laid out to so it is obvious that he's been changed. But I could always do it without the tunic, because under the flight suit he probably was wearing this. Which is the complete opposite of what Hoppy just said. So the implication is, if Luke wore nothing under his flight suit, when they changed him out of it into this outfit, Mara probably got to see him naked, because there's no way that she's going to leave Luke out of her sight. So basically any change to the outfit that's not me doing something like taking that tunic off is going to break the facial animation for the first part of the video. She probably should take his gloves off too. Oh. Well, that's a problem. Looks like Vader's been busy again. I do know what the problem is there, and I can't fix it in Omniverse. That's I have to go back to iClone and fix it problem. I do know how to fix it, I'm just not going to do it now. So we'll put his gloves back on. Yeah, so the idea of this video was to show off the refinements I make when I take a scene from iClone into Omniverse. Usually it's very quick. Which I've just done. Jamie, she has not punched him in the face yet. Jamie, I believe it was you who suggested the potted plants. So, there you go. And there's one on the other side of the room as well. I'm not putting them all over the place because there's only so many places the camera actually looks. I mean, there's this corner over here, but at no point does the camera actually point over there, so there's no point me putting one there. But I thought you'd be pleased to know that I did listen. And so we've got some food on the table. Yeah, I got the tree. Added, it was the first thing I added at the beginning of this stream. And over here by the entrance, there's the still image of the outside. Can I put a piranha plant in? Only if there's one available here. You need one of these. Well, it's downloading, so we'll give it a moment. Cena, depends on a number of factors. So I have to wait for the voice actors to send me the recordings. Obviously, that's a big one. The complexity of the scene. So if it's a huge battle scene or action sequence, that obviously takes a lot longer to animate than a simple conversation. It says it's downloading, but it's going very slowly. And there's render times as well. Once I've got everything I need, it can be pretty quick. But again, it depends on what's actually needed. So I received the last of the dialogue needed for chapter 19. I say last, I had to record my own as well. Was it Saturday? Oops, too far. So I've got the two scenes of the chapter. Well, the first scene's pretty much completely finished, and this is the second one, which the basic scene's done, but I still need to refine a lot of things. There's bits where the animation doesn't quite work, and I haven't done the facial animation or the lip sync, so that's a bit more work. But yeah, that's just a few days' work of getting this done. So yeah, once I've got everything, if it's a simple conversation scene, I can do it really quickly. But when you've got blasters and explosions and other effects, then it takes a bit longer. I don't know why that's not downloading properly. I may have to come back to the piranha plant. I will put one in. I'm not going to tell you where it is. You just have to look for it in the background when you watch the finished chapter. JT Crusader, yeah. Thing about cushions is these tables in the background are going to be out of focus, so I'm not going to add things like that, cushions and extra details that aren't necessarily going to be seen. And I quite like the wooden style here. I suppose I could. Let's have a look. Flippy, you're welcome. There's only good cushion models. Let's have a look. There's a few I could potentially use. I'm not going to place them now though. It's something I'll consider. But some details are really good to add, and sometimes the details can be they can add significantly to the render times, and a cushion probably is going to be one of the latter, because it's all the shape of it is going to be quite demanding, even though you think a cushion can't be that complicated. But when you start thinking about it's not smooth. So if you look at the corner of this one here, there's sort of bits where it's been pushed in, sort of dense. That adds to the complexity of the model. So I'll experiment with it, but I wouldn't count on cushions making an appearance. But it's good that you pointed that out. I do welcome feedback. some of the XM, yeah, action sequences can be tricky because you can make them, if you make them too brief, they're not exciting because it happens and it's over. Make them too long and it's boring. So it takes a great amount of care to get it just right, so that you don't feel like you've been let down and disappointed because it was over so quickly, but without making people fall asleep. And obviously there is a lot of dialogue in the book, so there's a lot more conversation and less action than you'd expect from a Star Wars film. Some people said that there's too much talking, not enough action. Well, that's the way the book was written, and I'm sticking to it. Although I did expand the battle sequence in chapter 9, where in the book you just see it from the bridge, and I thought, no, you need to see the actual battle happen. I'm not adding a live, laugh, love cushion or a live, laugh, clone cushion. JT Crusader, I'm glad you like the Talon card model. I looked at all the different artwork for card, and I thought this is kind of the look he goes for. In the comics he's got a sleeveless jacket, but I didn't really like it that much. I felt like an actual jacket like this is a little bit more refined and more like him. So yeah, I ended up doing what I set out to do much quicker than I thought I was going to, but I'm going to stay and chat a little bit longer. Look at the way Mara's hair kind of... I can't take credit for designing the hair. I put all the pieces together to make her, but the hair is just one of the assets that come with Character Creator, or one of the content packs that I bought. Flippy, I'm glad you like the poster. I was actually trying to do Borsk Failures poster today, but I had some problems getting it done, so I did Pelion instead. How do I keep the voices straight in my head? Well, with Pelion and Card's closer to my normal speaking voice, whereas Pelion is much raspier. What I'll do is I'll say something to get into character, one of the lines I've already said before. And that usually helps. I felt like Mara Jade needs muscly arms because of her skill set. She's going to be a very active person, and she's going to take fitness very seriously, so I thought rather than just have a very skinny, it's kind of like in the TV show Arrow, one of the Black Canaries was so incredibly skinny that it's hard to believe that she could possibly win a fight against any criminal. And I thought, no, Mara Jade needs to look like she can handle herself in a fight and win, because that's who she is. Jamie, I know you're looking forward to that punching scene. Yeah, Sarah Connor is a good example. You look at Sarah Connor and you think, you know she's tough, and that if she is going to do something like get into a fight, or she's not going to break her arm, she's going to be able to handle herself. And you need that same look for Mara, I think. I didn't want to overdo it so it didn't look natural, but just enough to make it look right. Yeah, Laurel. Well, Hoppy, if these Mara arms inspire you, then please do go work out and compete with her. The Vortskas came from the Revolution content store. There's some iClone content. I believe they're called... Okay, I can't remember what the name of the models are. I didn't design them, they're in the content store. I wanted something that looked dog-like, but not an actual dog from Earth. And these showed up, and I thought they were perfect for aggressive alien-looking dogs. So that's what I chose for them. I changed the skin tone of one of them, so you can tell them apart. This one's the one with the altered one. One of the things I've been doing recently is replaying Mass Effect, and I wonder if they look familiar because they're reminding me of the Varen to a degree. Otherwise, you may have seen them somewhere else. I don't know. They do have names. This is Sturm and this is Drang. Names from the book. Sturm growls at Luke, which I haven't animated yet, so I can't show you. And then Card asks Chin to come over and take them away. But when they come in, when Luke comes in, they're both just kind of curled up asleep at Card's feet, and then Sturm wakes up and growls at Luke. Where's Luke gone? Oh, there we go. I don't know what... Somebody else had heard that about the names. I couldn't remember it offhand. But now that you said that, I do remember. JT Crusader, you do an excellent job with both of their voices, so it's a good choice. I'm not too good with accents, so I can make my voice sound different, but I still have the same accent. So initially for Pelion in chapter 1, I was just doing it as a test, so I wasn't too concerned about how he sounded, because I was more interested in the space battle side of it. But when it came back to do more scenes with him, I thought, well, he needs to sound older than I am, because he is older than I am. So I made him sound very gravelly. I cannot do a New Yorker accent. I can't do accents. Every character's going to have my accent because that's just the way it is. Which is why I do these two and the occasional background character. Yeah, I am not older than 50. Oh, I don't feel bad, but thank you, Jamie. Alright, so I pretty much set out everything I've set out to do I've done here. So I might end the stream now. I'm really pleased with how that looks. Actually, there's one more thing I'm going to add. Use the sky. Yep. It is a good shot. I'm gonna see that screenshot as well because Luke needs to look up to see the Eastern Emiri in the tree at some point, and that's a good camera angle to get it. And you can see one. I'll put one here somewhere. Jamie, have a good night. Thank you for coming. I'm probably going to head off to bed myself too now because it is 1 AM. But yeah, take your medication and sleep well. So yeah, I'm going to head off to bed because I probably should get some sleep. But this has been fun, as it always is, chatting to you guys. I hope you found it interesting. Looking forward to having this chapter finished, and so you can watch it soon. So take care, and may the throne be with you, and I'll see you all next time.